Alrighty, here we go. Getting ready to go green flag racing here tonight in the Families Fighting a Flu Cup Series here on Extreme Sim TV. Up in the booth with me here tonight, we got Miss Rachel Thornhill. Rachel, how are you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Well, welcome to Richmond Motor Speedway. Took us a minute to get going, but now we're actually live and getting ready to go here in a moment. So, folks, qualifying already underway here tonight. We had a little bit of a delay, but we're good to go here. Actually, qualifying, getting ready to wrap up, Rachel. So, we don't have long to talk about it, but Richmond, a really, really fun racetrack.
Yeah, definitely. I was able to watch some of these guys run on Wednesday in the Xfinity series here at Richmond, and I mean, it was definitely an eventful race. So I'm looking forward to seeing what some of these guys do tonight.
Well, right now we got Daniel Smallwood up front, 21.431. Charles Grant Jr. in second, Cameron Hearn set in third, Kevin Winter currently fourth on the board. And before we go racing, what do you say we take a look at the point standings from last week? Or coming into this week, Rachel, and how everything stands out. We got about 12 seconds, so we got to hurry here. Cameron Hearn was not your leader. Actually, no, that's not accurate. The points ain't working right again. We got to fix that. I do apologize. I know Cameron Hearn dropped second, I do believe. But we're going to get ready to go racing for 130 laps. Rachel, what do you think the key is here tonight at Richmond International?
Definitely trying to keep your car clean. I know with the Xfinity cars, they had quite a few cautions on Wednesday. Some of these guys were getting pretty loose on this track, so I'd say definitely trying to, keep it clean and green as long as possible.
Yeah, I would agree too. Just taking care of your cars. We'll take a look at the starting grid. We talked about Smallwood starting up front. Alongside of him, it's going to be Charles Grant Jr. right there on his outside. Row number 2, Cameron Hearn and Kevin Winter. Row number 3, Andrew President and Mr. Aaron Hearn right there in 6th. 7th going to be Brandon Thornhill. Mike back there in 8th. 9th going to be Hermie Sadler. 10th, Joseph Murata. 11th going to be Mr. Brent Stephen Baldwin in 12th. 13th, Michael Cooper. 14th, Leonardo Frost. 15th, Jeffrey Converse, and 16th, Kel Butler. 17th, rounding out the field, is Mr. Cade Ferguson here tonight. Should be a lot of fun here in the Families Fighting Flu Cup Series, Rachel. Everybody's still getting gridded in and ready to go. Only 130 laps tonight at Richmond. Pretty short race here, all things considered.
Right. I know for the Xfinity series, they also did a short race. They only had 100 laps. So yeah, I mean, these guys are not running too many laps. If they could keep it clean and green for most of the time, I mean, the race should go by pretty fast.
Yeah, it'll go by pretty quick here for these guys. There's not going to be a lot of time for them to figure anything out. Again, most races here at Richmond average at least 200 laps long, but here tonight we're only going to run 130. And again, I do apologize about the short intro tonight. We had, we say, some technical glitches with the new thing we're doing. But we are live both on YouTube and Facebook here tonight as the 8852 front row. You ready for this one, Rachel?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Here we go. Coming out of turn number 4. 46 minutes. That would be the distance if they go green. Oops, so lights are still in the pace car. Rip. They were off for me in my defense, Rachel. I'm not seeing things. They were off for me, I promise. But we got one more lap here. But again, Rachel, if this thing goes green, that's 46 minutes of racing. Again, that's with no caution. So again, not much time for these drivers at all.
Right. Yeah. And I noticed from the other night at the Xfinity race, it was very easy for these leaders to lap these cars. I mean, they don't have very much time around this track. So, and a lot of them got caught up in some lap traffic. So we'll see how this turns out. But pace cars down, 88 and number 52 side by side.
Good call, Rachel. They're green, girl. We're underway. 130 laps here tonight. So, Rachel, what do you think? Turn one, would you take it cautious here?
I don't know. They're getting extremely aggressive towards the front because, I mean, you have the number 67 of Cameron Hearn. And, I mean, this is typical for Cameron. He's always trying to get all the way to the front and out away from the field. But it looks like Smallwood's pulled off quite a bit of distance from the rest of the field already.
Yeah, already opening up that gap, and that's what we just got done talking about, just how short this race is. He's probably thinking, hey, can I jump out in front, get away from everybody? But Cameron Hearn not letting that happen. Hearn to the back bumper of Smallwood overturned it.
Yeah, Cameron's gonna, I mean, he's gonna definitely try and get around Smallwood. I mean, that's just typical with Cameron. And I mean, it definitely works in his favor because, I mean, he does it almost every single race, and he tends to be out there for most of the race at least.
Cameron Hearn trying to close in, but Smallwood getting back away from him. Look to his inside. There comes that number 52 machine. Grant on the bottom trying to pick it up from Cameron Hearn. Hearn trying to hold him back there. Already 4 laps complete here tonight, folks. And these top 3 already starting to separate themselves from the field. Well, Rachel, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I'm looking towards the back, see if there's anybody else that's possibly trying to battle it out. But from what it looks like, everybody else is pretty much spread out, not really trying to battle anyone. So it looks like we might just be staying towards the front for a little bit.
Yeah, we got these top 3 here. They're single file right with one another. I think Hearn is faster than Smallwood for sure. Smallwood holding him up. But Hearn can't get around that number 88 Realtree machine in front of him right now. And that's going to cause Grant to get bottlenecked up in here as well. Again, folks, already 7 complete here tonight, Rachel. And the top 3 walking away 1.1 seconds as the gap back to Andrew back there in 4th, and then Kevin Winter in 5th.
Right, but you got Cameron Hearn that just dropped down to the inside of Smallwood and got around him. I mean, extremely clean. But we'll see if Smallwood can catch up to him, because normally when Cameron gets to the front, he is gone, like he's in another zip code. So we'll see, how this plays out.
Yeah, you talked about it. Cameron already starting to open that gap back up, Rachel, and you were dead on accurate to what was going to happen. Cameron Hearn pulling away 0.4 of a second over Smallwood. Grant now to the back bumper of Smallwood right now. So as of right now, everything looking good here up in front. Nice racing overall at the front of the field between the 52 of Charles Grant, the 88 of Smallwood, Cameron Hearn, Andrew Fessenden, and Kevin Winter, your top 5 here early on in the LSRL Families Fighting Blue Cup Series.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look towards the back of the field, but it seems like everybody's pretty much just kind of being patient, not really running, not really running their cars very hard. And I know that was one thing, at least in the Xfinity Series. I'm not sure about how it affects these Cup cars, but they did complain about tire wear. So if the Cup cars are anything like that, some of these guys might be kind of holding back, not really running very hard because they're trying to save their tires. Yeah, no, I mean, they're definitely keeping it green, clean and green so far. I mean, we're already 12 laps in, 13 laps in.
Yeah, and another thing I'm noticing, if I look through the leaderboard here, everybody's spread out. There's nobody really close to one another right now. Got them pretty spread out on the racetrack at the moment.
Right, and from what it looks like, Andrew Fesden has kind of fell back a little bit. He's about 1.6 seconds behind Cameron Hearn, and it was at 1.1. He's kind of fallen off a little bit when it comes to the time. So I mean, we'll see how this plays out for him. If he's just possibly just holding back, or if he's overdriving it.
Yeah, and that's the problem, right? And you look at it, you got Kevin Winter up there 5 tenths of a second back. But are you surprised that everybody got separated this quickly? And we've kind of fallen into this single file race here in the first 15 laps where everybody's apart. And that's going to be interesting for the rest of the night.
Yeah, no, definitely. I know for the Xfinity race, they were not this far apart. There was quite a bit of battling going on. But also that did cause a lot of caution. So the thing is, some of these guys might be, holding back so they can run, as many laps as possible green, and then pretty much just deal with strategy when it comes to pit stops.
Yeah,
So.
and that's the thing. You start talking about pit stops later on in the night, but it will really green flag. How many of these guys do you think would have run a run to even know how far they could go? Because normally at Richmond, you don't plan on having green flag stops. That's not something you normally prepare for. We might be able to see a couple of guys who did prepare for that. And I don't think these Cup cars, I don't think they can make 130 laps tonight. We may be in somewhere in the 85 to 90, I'm thinking. 80, something like that.
The fuel limit's it's 80% tonight. So
I know a fuel run, you should be upwards to, what, it should be, at Richmond, you would think would be right around 90. It's been a while since I've raced here. So, probably 70 maybe? Possibly?
yeah, I mean that would make sense. But it also depends on some of these guys. Some of these guys might pit earlier than that. Because they might be playing some type of strategy to where they pit early, or some of them tend to pit later, and go way past the predicted lap that we normally talk about. So it really just depends on if they plan on pitting with everybody else, or if they plan on just waiting and going later.
Yeah, and as we were talking about that, Hearn actually had to work his way around Kel Butler down the back straightaway. Butler was kind of in the way of the race leaders, but no harm, no foul. They got around it clean and green. And folks, looking through the field, the closest gap we've got right now is between Kevin and Winter Fessenden right now at 4.8, and also Grant and Smallwood. Everybody's still around a half a tenth off of each other, Mark Rachel. So, man, this may have a long green flag run coming.
Yeah, just as you said that, Brandon Thornhill got kind of loose. He was trying to get around the 124 of Kel Butler, and I guess he kind of had to slow down a little bit to get around him. So.
Yeah, you might want to go smack Brandon on the back of the head over there, so not to get that car so loose next time.
Right. And speaking of which, the number 5 of Joseph Murata got kind of loose there too, trying to get around Kel Butler. I think that was just Kel could have been trying to change a line, and there was a mix-up.
I feel bad for Kel right now because he seems like he can't get out of the way at the moment. As these guys go by him, he's just extremely off the pace, running about 3 seconds slower than everybody else. In a place like Richmond, man, I can't tell you how hard it is to get out of the way when you're that much slower.
Right, and he has the 161 of Leonard Frost that's right behind him. That's getting onto his inside, and now just cleared him as well.
And poor Cameron Hurst still up in front. Well, folks, we're almost 30 laps complete of this race. What do you say we go crank it up for just a moment, Rachel? When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about pit strategy and what could be coming up here at Richmond. So enjoy your crank it up here on MTV. We'll be back in a moment. Let it go. Alrighty, back here with you at Richmond as you're watching Cameron Hearn pull away from the field. 31 complete here tonight. Everybody's still pretty much spread out. We had one car go a lap down. That was two machine dropping a lap down at Cade Ferguson. You know, I'm afraid if we keep this run up like this, we're going to see a ton of cars go a lap down here, Rachel.
Right, because I mean, you already have three cars that have already gone a lap down. You have the 124 Kel Butler, the 4 of Brant Kjol, I'm hoping I said that correct. And then you have the 42 of Kate Ferguson. So the next one in line would be Jeffrey Converse, the number 96. But I mean, so far no one has gotten to him. So hopefully he can stay on the lead lap.
Which he is right now 18 seconds off the leader. So they are coming, and it'll probably be the next 4 or 5 laps, I would imagine, until they start running him down. They're still about a second faster than he is a lap. Cameron Hearn, though, up to a 1.5 second lead. And just for reference, folks at home, Andrew running 4th. He is 6 seconds off Cameron Hearn and still losing 0.2 a lap. So, what does that tell you? That tells you if we go long enough here, reasonably speaking, the top, Andrew in 4th could end up a lap down before this is all over.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if they keep running exactly like they are, pretty much only the top 3 would end up being on the lead lap.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're looking at what, 22-second lap times. You average, there's a 22-second gap you can get on the racetrack, and they're already 6.5 back. And look at Aaron Hearn, 10.7 back, along with Brandon Thornhill. Both those guys already half a lap down right. Man, Cameron Hearn is on rails up front. Last time by, he ran a 22.741. The Brandon Thornhill is 23.0. Again, just around about 0.2 a lap here, Rachel, that they're losing. So you do 0.2 a lap. It doesn't take long to figure out. They're losing a second about every 5 laps here.
Right, and this isn't the first time that Cameron Hearn has done this, where he has lapped pretty much the whole field. He did the same thing. That would have been it was in the Xfinity cars. He did that at Chicagoland, where I mean he lapped pretty much the whole field, and it was only the top 3 that were still on the lead lap. So this wouldn't be the first time that he's done this if he's able to, you know, lap the whole field except for the top 3.
As we take a look here around Thornhill, there's actually a bit of a battle brewing. Because Mr. Mike closing in on Brandon. Brandon dropping back in Mike's clutches here in that number 74 Toyota Tundra Camry, sorry. Thinking trucks. Anyway, the Toyota Camry here. Mike right there behind Brandon Thornhill. And actually, Brandon losing tons and tons of time here.
Yeah, but he just went to the outside of Aaron Hearn, and he was able to get around him, but instead he used the top side instead and not the bottom. So that's pretty different, because most of the time most people don't pass on the outside. They pretty much pass, you know, on the inside.
Yeah.
But he made it work.
Yeah, it seems like they're making that outside line work here tonight, which is a little bit different. Here comes Herbie actually, he's top. Back here deep in the pack. Don't look now, but folks, these guys are now 14 seconds off Cameron. That tells me Cameron is coming on them pretty quickly here. And actually, Jeffrey in danger of going a lap down here. Here as he is just, looks like 21 seconds plus back from Cameron. There is Jeffrey, there is Cameron right on his back bumper. So in the next lap or so, the 96 Converse will be going a lap down. So there you have it, Rachel. We talked about he was going to catch him, and he's done that. That'll be another car 1 lap down. And that one, when he gets by him, that's going to leave 11 on the lead lap here. Just shy of 44 on the board here tonight.
Yeah, and so after Jeffrey Converse, and the next one that's actually going to still be on the lap is Joseph Murata. And Murata, as of right now, is about probably about 3/10 ahead of Jeffrey. So we'll see, how long it takes for Cameron to catch up with him.
Yeah, that's going to be the question, as we're going to kind of see how that point pans out. Still looking for battles around the racetrack, and it's kind of died back off again. So we're 45 complete here tonight, folks. Pit stops will be coming up sometime in the near future. Probably a one-stop race here, Rachel. I would think. I think they'll get at least probably 65 to 68 laps at least, which would give them enough to make it to the end on one stop. I don't think we're going to have a two-stop race here tonight. It'll definitely be one stop, I do.
And that would make sense, especially if especially if this has to end up being a green pit stop. The only way I would possibly see another pit stop after that would be if some people, choose to come down, maybe for like a splash of fuel or something like that. But I mean, I don't really see that happening.
Well, right now, as we continue to run 47 complete, again, these guys heading off to Nashville next week. That should be a lot of fun right back here next Friday. He'll be at the Nashville Speedway, of course, Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. That'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. These guys definitely added some new tracks this season that they didn't run at. Last season, they were trying some new things, so that was not a track that they ran at last season. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they do there.
As well. Well, right now Grant actually kind of closing down on Daniel Smallwood for second. That little bit of a battle coming up, but both these guys now 3.5 seconds off Cameron Hearn. Once Cameron Hearn got the race lead, he is just sayonara to everybody and pulling away. Converse, like you said, 1 lap down right now. Joseph Murata getting ready to go a lap down here in the very near future. Taking a look at Murata as he's in the corner. And right at the beginning of the corner, that's going to be Cameron. So again, another one getting ready to bite the dust here and go a lap down.
Yeah, I mean, Cameron Hearn just can't be stopped. Like you said, I mean, he pretty much, once he gets to the front, he does everything he can to stay up there. And I mean, he is completely checked out. He's in a totally different zip code right now compared to all these other guys. And I mean, he's just going to keep coming until he can put the whole field a lap down, if he can. My biggest concern is him possibly burning his tires up, because I know he did have that problem on Wednesday. He was having issues with his with tires. So which technically he really doesn't need to run hard, because he has lapped so much of the field, and he's so far ahead. He doesn't really have to run that hard, because from what I'm seeing with Smallwood, his gap between him and Hearn is, I mean, it's definitely increasing, because now Smallwood's 4 seconds behind. So
Yeah, exactly. So that gap's growing. And that's the thing. Like, you've got some battles back in the pack. Hermie, of course, picked up a spot on Mike there. But none of these battles are affecting, Hearn. And here's the thing. If we make it to green flag stops and we get back out without a caution and everybody's completely spread apart, in my opinion, at that point, it's Cameron Hearn's race to lose.
yeah, no, I definitely agree there.
And I'll be honest, I think we're going to make green flag stops. I'm not seeing anything that would be a worry here for a yellow, as Hearn is actually putting Joseph Murata right now 1 lap down. That leaves 9 on the lead lap. There we go. We got 9 cars left on the lead lap. It's almost becoming a guessing game of how many cars will go a lap down.
Right. It's just, I mean, we're just waiting to see how many cars Hearn can pass, to make everyone a lap down. The next car would be Aaron Hearn. So I mean, we'll see how far back,
Yeah,
how long it takes for for Cameron to get up there to Aaron. But it looks like Cameron's coming, so I mean, it shouldn't take him very long to get up there.
exactly. And you take a look at Smallwood, focusing in on him for a moment. Still consistently falling back a tenth to 2/10 of a lap. And that's just going to add up to a gap that you just can't make up. Even if you short pit, you're going to be too far back. Take advantage of it, really, as we're looking at 58 of 130 complete here. Again, pit stop window feasibly could open around 65 and really make it to the rest of the way on fuel. Keep in mind, 60, if you went 60 and 60, that'd give you a 120. So if they can make it 65 and 65, that would give you a 130. You know, probably run to 66, 67 to be on the safe side. Come down and then make that run to the end.
Right, yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be some people that do pull that strategy where they might pit 1 or 2 laps later than everybody else, and try to make it work in their favor. But some of them tend to do that because they're hoping for a caution. But if it keeps going the way that it is, I don't see a caution coming out, during this race at all.
And see, that's the thing, Rachel, for me personally. I know, me personally, I like driving the Xfinity car better than the Cup car just for the sole purpose. These Cup cars with this high downforce package are so much easier to drive than the Xfinity. And you talked about it earlier, them having trouble on Wednesday. That makes sense. That Xfinity car, really easy to wear tires out, really easy to get loose, and a lot of things. These Cup cars are just a lot more stable now with this high downforce package.
Yeah, no, they definitely were having issues. That was really what was bringing up the cautions on Wednesday, was a lot of these guys were getting loose, hitting the wall. Some of the cautions were brought out just by one car alone, like spinning out, on the track and not really taking anybody out. So, yeah, some of these guys were having some trouble driving these cars. But it seems like tonight, with these Cup cars, these guys are kind of taking it easy. They're not really driving them extremely hard.
Yeah,
so, I mean, that's why, it's been clean and green the whole time.
Yeah, and we got 8 cars left on the lap.
And
yeah,
there is a caution.
We jinxed it. Yellow's out here.
Yeah, we did.
We're going to take a look at what happened here for a moment. Find who went around and what not. Might be a little hard to find the way everybody's a lap down here. Exactly what caused it. Not seeing anything yet. What caused it? Unless you're seeing something, I'm not seeing anything.
I don't see anything. That's why I'm not sure why the caution came out. And I'm also looking at some of the cars to see if I see like any damage on any of them that might have but I don't see any damage on anybody's cars. So
the 42 went up and got the wall, but he kept rolling. Didn't even turn around. Wonder if it was an admin caution, possibly. We can't confirm that, but I'm kind of wondering. But what this will do, nevertheless, well, guess what? Everybody's made 65 laps. We're going to come down, get 4 fresh tires and fuel, and they should be good to go until the end on this fuel stop.
Right, and it looks like Joseph Murata is back out on track. Leonard Frost is coming down pit road now.
Joseph's coming down now.
Also,
the running order was all messed up with, lap down cars, so I guess they're trying to sort that out as well.
Right, because you have Leonard Frost, Aaron Hearn, Jeffrey Converse, and Kate Ferguson that are just coming down pit road now.
Right now, out front, it's going to be Cameron Hearn. Again, we'll get back to your restart here in just a moment. We're going to be 68 to 130 complete here tonight at Richmond International Raceway. The family's fighting a Flu Cup Series. Again, this second half of the race getting ready to restart here in a moment. For the time being, me and Miss Rachel, we're going to take a moment. We're going to go to a quick silent commercial break here for a moment, and we'll be back for the restart. Get ready. Alrighty, here we go. Getting ready to go back green flag racing one more time here tonight. And I tell you what, Rachel, we're going to get a restart here. Cameron Hearn on the front row along with Smallwood. Can Smallwood pull anything out of his bag of tricks?
It really depends on if Smallwood can get him on that restart. If he doesn't and Cameron just checks out, I don't know if he'll have anything for him. But pace car's down, and we're going green.
We go back underway once again, and Hearn going to be shot out of the cannon once again. Kind of called that, Rachel. Cameron Hearn able to pull away once again.
Right. I mean, that was the main thing, was if Smallwood would have been able to get him on that restart, but Cameron, just checked out. And unfortunately, it's Smallwood's not really catching up to him.
Yeah, and taking a look back in the pack, Grant, they're able to get away around Hermie there, along with Mike. So Hermie Sadler's starting to drop back. Then we got 9 cars on the lead lap here for this restart with 71 complete of the 130 here tonight.
Right, and one thing I don't know if this caution really helped Cameron because of the fact that now he's not as spread out from the rest of the field, and that's where he likes to be. He likes to be as far ahead of the field as possible. So for him, he's probably gonna really work hard on driving kind of hard and possibly burn his tires a little bit because he's gonna want to hold off Smallwood.
Smallwood trying to stay with him. I'm watching the lap times right now, Rachel. Last time by Cameron, about a 10 second faster. This time by looks like Smallwood able to close that gap. And indeed, Smallwood faster that lap. And
yeah, it shows.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it shows that. I mean, Smallwood's definitely catching up to him because he's only about 0.2 seconds behind him. So, yeah, I mean, and it's definitely closing up. So
2.83 tenths right now, and I tell you what, that's going to be the thing. If Smallwood keeps the pressure on Hearn long enough to maybe force him into a mistake and make a jump around him, because if Cameron Hearn starts to open the gap once again, it's getting later and later in the race, you start running out of opportunities to get back by him.
Right, and I mean, I'm going through the rest of the field. You got a couple cars that are pretty close. You got the 00 of Andrew Fesden and the 11 of Kevin Winter. Winter's pretty much almost on the back bumper of Fesden. So I'm trying to see if Winter's going to try and make that pass.
Kevin Winter working his way forward. You're exactly right. He is there. It's can he make the move around him here? Again, folks, already 78 laps complete here tonight at Richmond. LSRL families for fighting a Flu Cup series here at Richmond International Raceway, and it's going to be Kevin Winter putting some pressure on Andrew right now, but about 0.2 of a second behind him.
Right, and then you also have Brandon Thornhill and Charles Grant Jr. that are extremely close. I mean, Grant is pretty much on the back bumper of the number 68, so it looks like he's trying to pass him on the inside.
Yeah, it's Dunsky. Grant going to get by him. Brandon's going to have to find something here. Get that number 70 or 68 machine back up towards the front. Brandon seems to be sliding back here at Richmond. I don't think he necessarily likes this place. Well,
Actually, he does not. He has said that this is one of the tracks that he does not really like at all.
Well, I'll give him some tips after the race because I'm a pretty good short track racer. And it seems like he's just giving up a lot on the entry, really keeping that car kind of wide, especially in 1 and 2. And I think if he kind of brought that thing down a little bit further and got off the gas, kind of let it roll through the center, he'd be in a little bit better shape here. If you'll watch him here, that's a big, long, sweeping arc. Seems to, you can't get back in the gas so it. And back up front, Cameron Hearn still with Smallwood on his back bumper in that Realtree number 88 machine. Angle Smallwood keeping the pressure on Cameron Hearn right now. And then a Bruzy number 67 machine. Of course, that a Bruzy racewear machine out front leading the way. And I have a feeling these guys are getting sick of seeing that number 67 out front.
I definitely agree on that one because I mean Cameron Hearn is pretty much within at least a top 3 every week. I mean, if he's not first, he's still somewhere up in that top 3 for the most part. I mean, every now and then he might have a hiccup, but he's pretty consistent. And I know some of these guys definitely want to, knock him out of that first place position. So.
Turn out front, pulling away down the back. Well, not really pulling away, but at least holding his ground here in front of Smallwood. The field is a lot tighter together this run, Rachel, than what we've seen that past run.
Right.
Look. Even the battle 1 lap down right now, it's going to be Frost and Converse going at it. And that's actually your battle for the lucky dog if we were to get another caution.
Right. Converse passed Leonard Frost, so that puts him in the 10th position. And yeah, like you mentioned, he would be the lucky dog if they do end up having another caution. But unfortunately, Converse got he got kind of caught up by the number 124 of Kel Butler, but he got around him. So, and then next, still on the lead lap is the number 5 of Joseph Murata.
And Murata right there in 9th.
Right.
I tell you what, he's trying to buy the 124, who's multiple laps down at this, 6 laps down at. Does a good job, he'll get by there. I tell you what, Rachel, I don't think this thing's over just yet, because Smallwood's right there with the back bumper of Cameron Hearn this time.
Right, yeah, I mean, Daniel Smallwood's definitely, he's definitely shortened that gap. I mean, he's only, 0.18 seconds behind him. So, Cameron Hearn is definitely going to have to hold him off as much as he possibly can. But also, with Smallwood putting that pressure on the back of Hearn, that could potentially make Hearn burn his stuff up. Because, Cameron can start overdriving it and start burning his tires. And so, I mean, we definitely have to kind of watch that and see what happens.
All we do is we're 90 to 130 here tonight. You take a look at the overall season here and the LSRL deal. We got a long way to go in the season. Smallwood smacks the wall there. These guys are going to be racing way up into March, if not April. I believe it may be actually April that they're racing up into. Even though you're kind of early in the season here at Richmond, you still want to keep the momentum up.
Yeah, no, I mean definitely. You don't want to just slack off and assume that that you're good, that you're golden, because I mean, no matter what your night ends up being, if you can get your car back out there and just still run some laps, I mean, few points can make a huge difference by the end of the season.
And you take a look there, Andrew Fessenden still sitting in third, Kevin Winter in fourth, Charles Grant Jr. and Brandon Thornhill in sixth. Your top six here at Richmond right now, as we're just shy of 93 on the board already, Rachel. This one flying by.
Right. I mean, this race is almost done, and as we say that, Charles Grant is on the inside of Kevin Winter to take the fourth position, and he clears him.
Job by Charles Grant. Smallwood still back there with about 1/10 of a second off. We've sat for a good the last 20 laps here, Rachel. We about that far apart. Get right there. Smallwood can get to him. He just can't get around Hearn. Hearn in that Abruzzi Raceware 67 hanging on to the Toyota, hanging on. Down the front straightaway, 95 on the board. Smallwood hanging right there in the real tree, number 88. Keeping the pressure up in that Chevy Camaro right now.
Yeah, I mean, Smallwood is just. I think he's trying to get into Hearn's head a little bit. It's like, hey, I'm here, but not exactly trying to get around him. But as we say that, he's on the inside of Hearn at the moment, but it just seems like, in contact. But he saved it, so.
That was some hot racing there, but that might have been the only shot that Smallwood had there to get by Hearn. Now he's going to drop back behind him again. Every lap that goes by here, that's a lap less you got to work with here.
And looks like he's driving it pretty hard. Smallwood's driving it in pretty hard, trying to make up for that time from getting into Hearn, but he's still about 0.2 seconds behind, so.
He's able to close in 1 and 2. That's where he's really able to close. The only way I see him getting by Hearn here, he's going to have to use that front bumper. I hate to say it, but he's just going to have to get up there just enough to move Hearn up the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would really be the only way that Smallwood could really, try to get around him at this point, because I mean, he doesn't have the speed, I'm guessing, to really hold him off, because he's constantly fluctuating between his time intervals. So
yeah, and right now 100 of 130 complete, no one this time by, and like you said, the interval kind of starting to, I would say, even out a little bit at the front of the pack right now with these two. And just keep in mind, Rachel, there's only about 10 minutes worth of racing for these guys. So you really got to grab whatever focus you have, go back at it. Because you may have 29 laps here, but that's only about 10 minutes. Figure out what you're going to do here. And keep this in mind, folks. These guys started racing here on about 8:35 Eastern. We're at 9:18 Eastern, and they're already running down the end of this race here at Richmond. So not a lot of time. And I wonder, Rachel, heading to Nashville next week, if it's going to be the same story.
We'll have to see. I mean, if these guys can, keep it clean and green like that. Also, it really does depend also on how long they end up making the race as well. Because if they end up making it a pretty short race, like this one, it could end up being, a really short night for these guys. So.
And yeah, as a driver, I think that helps a little bit when you're able to get in here and run it and get it done on a Friday night. It helps your standard get in here and get it over with type of thing, right? You know, so I think it helps them a little bit from that standpoint. And right now, I bet you Cameron Hearn was just wishing this thing was shorter than it already is. He's just ready for it to be over with. This.
Oh yeah, I mean he doesn't have very much laps to go, and I mean he's just trying to keep he's just trying to keep his cars to the front. And I mean you got Smallwood that's trying to trying to close that gap, but it's just he's just constantly falling back at this moment. So unless Smallwood is waiting towards the very end to possibly do something. But I mean, he doesn't have much time. He's pretty much going to have to take a risk real soon.
And for reference, everybody out there, Cameron Hearn has led 99 of the 106 laps that are complete here. And Smallwood outside wall. There you
Ooh,
go.
that's unfortunate.
That's not going to help that race car.
No, not at all.
Starting to get spread back a little bit here. Smallwood giving it and he's got trying to get by Hearn. Lap 1-7 on the board. Smallwood knows he's running out of time. He knows he's got to get up there to the back bumper of Hearn and make something happen.
Yeah, but based on, well, actually, Smallwood, he has closed the gap. Now, he's only about like 1/10 off of, before that he was about 3/10 off. So he's definitely closed the gap a little bit. So I think he's starting to run his car a lot harder too. So.
Well, yeah, you're running out of time, so you can push it as hard as you want. You've not got much that longer, so you can't save much. The only option you've got left on the table if you're the 88 is just go and try to get around him. And even if you burn your equipment up, well, what else are you going to do here?
Right. I mean, and he only has about 20 laps left. So that might be what's going through his mind. He might feel like, go big or go home. So, and he might not be worried about burning his stuff up.
And you see him, he's able to keep that car a bit lower off of back under him. But he found a chink in the armor, right? He found that one thing he can do. Now can he do it again as Cameron Hearn makes another mistake right there off turn 4? Here we go, Rachel. He's going to do it again. Same thing.
Right, yeah, he drops down to the inside of Hearn and gets a clean run on him, but it seems like Smallwood slowed up and got kind of loose, and now Cameron Hearn's right back down on the inside of Smallwood.
Smallwood loose there.
They were both kind of loose there, but I mean Hearn was able to clear him, clean, and he's kind of made a gap between the two, so...
Well, don't look now, Rachel. We're coming to 15 to go. And once again, Smallwood's going to have to find a way to get back under him in one, because that seems to be his key here, is he can get down in turn 1 a lot deeper. But with 15 laps to go, and you've done 2 crossovers, that time Smallwood got way out of shape on the entry to 1. That's going to cost him some time.
Yeah, no, he's definitely fallen back. So we'll have to see, what he does next time around. But I mean, there's not much time. Smallwood's going to have to do something drastic, or he's going to end up, falling even further behind.
Yeah, and I mean, he's put up a good fight up here tonight, but like you said, starting to inch away again. And to 13 to go this time by at Richmond Motors.
Yeah, Smallwood is about 0.3 of a second behind now, and it just seems like the gap is, now the gap's even further. We're at 0.5 of a second. Smallwood's just losing momentum on that car.
Yeah, it's almost like he threw everything at him good. Burnt everything up, trying to get it done, just up a little bit short. And now that car dropping like a stone. with 12 laps to go at Richmond.
Looking back throughout the field, everybody is pretty much spread out. Nobody's really battling for any positions. Yeah, everybody's spread out. So it's really just Cameron Hearn and Daniel Smallwood. If Smallwood can somehow catch up to Hearn, but I don't really see it because he's already, 1.3 seconds behind Hearn right now. And we've got 10 laps to go.
1.66 back. He's dropping quickly. Smallwood's only hope here is late race caution to bring him back up to Mr. Hearn.
Yeah, I mean, Cameron Hearn has just actually he just went around Joseph Murata, so now Murata is now a lap down. So so you only have 8 cars on the lead lap now. The next one would be the number 74 of Mike Aiello. I'm hoping I said that correctly. He would be the next car to possibly go a lap down if Cameron Hearn catches up to him.
Yeah, I will tell you what. I've been watching Smallwood the last few laps here. He's just falling back. Car is loose. He can't get a hold of it. So once again, Cameron Hearn back in the catbird seat.
Right. Smallwood is currently 2.5 seconds behind Cameron Hearn. So yeah, I mean, he's fallen back a lot, and I just don't see him catching up to Hearn anytime soon.
With 7 laps to go here at Richmond. Take a look at it and what we've done for with Cameron. And this guy may be a shoe-in for a chance.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I mean, Cameron has pretty much been dominating in Cup and also in the Xfinity Series. So, I mean, you never know. I mean, this guy could definitely be, a contender for 2 championships and not just 1.
Exactly. Right now, coming up 5 laps to go here. Cameron Hearn well on his way to getting it done here. LSRL family fighting up. Right now out in front. Cameron Hearn, Daniel Smallwood, Charles Jr., Andrew Evan, Evan Winter, your top 5 in the closing stages.
Right, you got Cameron Hearn trying to get around. He's going through lap traffic still. He just put Leonard Frost 2 laps down. So, I mean, he's definitely getting around a lot of these guys multiple times. So
exactly. Take a look back to everybody spread apart here. Coming to 3 laps to go here at Richmond. That's Kevin Winter and Andrew Fessenden and Brenton Thornhill. 3.4 seconds back from him. Here we are, Rachel. We're at 3 to go here at Richmond already.
right, I mean, this has been an extremely fast race. We only have 1 caution, which from what it seemed like, it might have only been 1 car involved. So you didn't have a lot of cars, but a lot of damage. And I mean, we had Cameron Hearn that literally lapped most of the field. And unfortunately for Daniel Smallwood, he's fallen back in pretty much about 5 seconds behind. And you got Charles Grant Jr. that's actually right on his back bumper.
Right now, Smallwood trying to hold off one time around. Grant Jr. and Cameron Hearn going to come through here. I tell you what, Rachel, what a dominant performance for the 67 machine out of turn number 4, and Cameron Hearn's going to get it done here at Richmond. Look at this, Grant Jr. is going to grab second in the last corner. Wow.
Wow, that was definitely an interesting finish.
I don't think Smallwood's happy about something. We might want to go look at something. Let's go see what happened. Um, well, that explains it. So here is why Smallwood's not happy. Grant kind of moved him, shall we say, up the racetrack.
Rubbing is racing.
So that's going to be the pass for second. And then after the checkered flag falls, Smallwood says, nope, nope, I'm not going to have any of that. And, decides to return the favor, I guess. There you go. Ending to Richmond, Rachel. A little bit of fireworks.
Right. I mean, the end for Smallwood and Grant was definitely interesting. So,
Righty, well, what do you say we get a race winner up here in Top Gun?
all right.
That was turn here. Here you are. Hey, Cameron, Hearn, Matt, and Rachel in the booth. You get a copy?
I gotcha.
Alrighty, man. You come in here to Richmond, and you're going to dominate, grab the win tonight. What a run for you here this evening.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, me and Daniel had some good racing there. I think he just kind of lost her rear end, the tires a little bit on that long run, and I was trying to save a little bit, but he was fast all night, and I think track position was key, and once I got up front, it was kind of easy to stay up there.
Great job once you got up there and started to pull away, buddy. He put up a fight for you there at the end just a little bit, but most of the race, you was in a league of your own, man.
Yeah, this is one of my, I love short tracks you have to use a lot of brakes at, and I feel like if you know how to save the tires and still be quick, it kind of shows up on long runs, and we had some really long runs tonight, which is great. I don't think I was the fastest single lap car out there. You look at qualifying, but I think 5 laps in a row, I was pretty consistent. And Daniel was fast at the beginning of the race, and me being able to get in front of him, I think, kind of helped me out too. Because even though it's a short track with this package, dirty air still kind of makes the car a little bit tight. And I just felt like if I was up front, I could kind of make him deal with the dirty air.
Well, man, you did a great job here tonight, Cam, getting the. Anybody you'd like to thank before I let you get?
Yeah, I want to thank the family's fight flu. Brent Cool is in here tonight and also Drive for Diabetes. He's got a cool thing going on, so give a shot for him. I want to thank you guys at broadcast. I appreciate it. Y'all do a great job. It's awesome to tune back and watch it later on tonight or the next morning. And just all the guys out in the league. I think we only had one caution. I think Aaron brought the caution. He's kind of got loose, but he had a top 10 run going on before that. So he's still making progress, and just give a shout to my mom and dad and my wife. We've had a long day today, so she might be asleep. So I'm gonna have to hop in the bed, tell her I'm on. So just appreciate everybody for showing up and what you guys do every week.
Everybody, again, congratulations. Right, Cameron, good job, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, let's try very cautiously get P2 in here. Let's see. Hey, Charles, Matt in the booth, got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, man, snuck through to second out of turn 4, man.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, smart play. How was the car?
Well, the first run I didn't drive it right or something, and it was just a big old handful. That last one I managed to keep the right rear on it. And drove from like 9th or something after some damage repairs, back up to second. So pretty good on the second run.
Man, great job getting up through the field there, and pretty good night here, coming home second. What kind of momentum does it give you heading towards Nashville?
I probably won't be there. I'll be working that night, so.
Well, that sucks, buddy. I was looking forward to seeing you out there in Nashville. Well, man, great job. Anybody you'd like to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, I thank the league. It was good fun. Thank you guys for broadcasting. Congratulations to Cameron for winning the thing, and I'd like to thank Smallwood for being my buddy, even though I knocked the hell out of his back bumper in that last third.
Yeah, we'll go with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but good job, buddy. Congratulations on Pete.
Thank you.
Well, we got one more to grab, Miss Rachel. This would to be fun.
Yeah, no, definitely.
All right. Angle Smallwood, Matt in the booth, get a copy.
Yeah, I got you, buddy. How are you?
All righty, man. I'm doing all right. Coming home third here tonight. Good run for you there in that number 88.
Yeah, it's not exactly what we wanted, but all in all, it was a good night. It was fun battling for the win and everything in the lead, not the win, but it was. I've ran with Cameron and Charles before. Charles is my buddy. And I trust both those two really good, and I know when I race with them, I'm gonna have a good race.
Well, your buddy there kind of moves you up out of the way for second there coming to the checkered.
Yeah, I told him I didn't have a right rear there at the end, and I used it up trying to battle with Cameron and try to get around Cameron, hold him off. But once Cameron got around me that one last time, he just left me, and I didn't have a right rear to go anymore, and I was just dirt tracking around the whole track pretty much. I told him, I think it was probably about 3 or 4 to go. I wasn't going to let him by, so I knew I had to race him hard, and I kind of asked for it blocking like I did, but I know he knew. I know he knows if the roles were switched, I'd do the same thing. So no hard feelings there. He's my buddy.
Alrighty, man. Well, again, great run third. Maybe if that right rear hadn't went away from you, maybe you could have got Hearn there.
Yeah, I knew. I feel like we were saving good the first run, then he all of a sudden just left me, and the second run I tried to save my tires better. When it kind of was turning out to be really good, he was kind of messing up there for a little bit, and then he was getting loose off of 4, and I was able to get some big runs. So I just dialed down there in turn 1, and when I was diving it down there, I was just burning the right rear up more and more, and just crazy how I couldn't save it like they could, but I had a better right front than most of them tonight. But he's good racer. He deserves it.
Righty, man. Great run tonight, coming home third.
I gotta thank you guys. Everybody puts this on. I haven't been able to run it as often as I want to. Hopefully, we'll be back on schedule now. Just mom and dad for watching. Everybody out there watching. Just everybody makes this go on.
Alrighty, man. Well, again, congratulations. Third here.
Yep. Thank you, buddy.
Alrighty, Rachel. It was a fun night all night long here this evening for us.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. I mean, one caution the whole race. These guys literally pretty much ran most of the race, clean and green. And, it ended up being an eventful finish for Charles Grant and Daniel Smallwood as well.
Sure did. Well, I want to thank you for coming up with me here tonight, Rachel. But we're going to get ready to get off of here, folks. We'll be back next week from Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. LSRL, the Families Fighting Flu Cup Series again. Been Rachel Thornhill and Matt in the booth. Until next time, everyone stay safe. God bless. Have a great night. We'll see you next